this is something that we continue to see, is that people who could exit gang life choose to continue to stay active in the gang life. And ultimately, when you have the amount of money and influence in the community that these rappers had, they actually make the gang more powerful because people want to join to be around them. They're famous.
They remained absolutely relentless, sending a message, and continued to hunt that same individual, kidnap him, throw him in the back of a car, bring him to a cemetery, and dictate and initiate quite possibly the most ferocious and vicious beating I've seen. Now, I've been doing this 25 years. There's good reason we didn't play that video.
Who's known, feel me? Just look out for my posts. We got a lot of ops. We got a lot of Glocks.
Matching outfits, how'd you get in there? How'd you see what one of all was?
I wasn't invited to the dinner, but it was a fine restaurant, expensive restaurant. I've been there once in my life, and the food is very good. You know, our young people record everything, and they celebrated the score. That's the mass shooting when the 6 people were shot.
2 days later, all of the participants of that murder were then treated to a gourmet steak dinner celebrating their accomplishment. That celebration hosted and paid by Sheff and Sleepy. They actually wore matching outfits during it. One participant in particular was rewarded even further with a custom-made gold chain with the homicide's victim nickname on it.
Nigga, look, on the set.
What an ultimate insult.
You understand? You need to invest in yourself, you fucking stupid.
Today, A Trey, 32 subjects.
What are you talking? Show me some bread right now. Show me some bread right now, nigga.
Now think about that, 32 subjects. We could have made this case 200-300 people. Make no mistake about it.
Nigga, on the set.
You know, you look at those 32 individuals, 24 of them are being charged with attempted murder or worse.
On the set. That's on GC. Everybody tag Tutu, nigga, right now.
But it's focused, it's strategic, it addresses the right people.
Listen, you see this? Yo, everybody tell Tutu G's I'ma sign him right now.
You said I signed the Kodak for 5K, right? Because that's what I seen somebody just comment, right? You said I signed for 5,000, right? You signed the New Life fucking Entertainment, bro.
Tell Tutu I'ma sign him right now. Tell him pull up.
Any y'all niggas think y'all playing any type of games with my little bro, I'm violating, you heard? So we not even doing that.
Anybody ever ran into me, y'all know what's up. Keep it a fucking buck, nigga. Y'all know what's up, nigga. Real demon Tommy, nigga. No joke, nigga.
All y'all niggas is pussy. All y'all, you heard? All y'all is pussy, you heard?
Nigga, tell Jeffrey the little rat. Tell him that, nigga. Tell him I'll bag out 100K tomorrow self.
Look, we shining. Shine! Fuck is wrong with y'all?
On the set, nigga, I'll slap the shit out that nigga. And who the fuck else standing with that nigga? With the little platinum little fucking, but yeah, platinum teeth in. Shut the fuck up, nigga.
You feel me? Shine.
Slap the shot of Sheff G. Who the fuck is that?
You got platinum in your teeth. Talking about shine. Oh, that's him. Shine. Yeah, all right. Come shine over here, cuz. You gonna see what the fuck going on, nigga. Nigga, look, on the set.
I'm honored to announce that today, our beloved Brooklyn is once again a bit safer, with some of the worst of the absolute worst now in custody. So A Trey is an investigation into several violent gangs that fall under the Blood and Crip umbrellas. Namely, as mentioned earlier, A Trey Crips, G-Stone Crips, and 9 Trey Bloods. Now these gangs are aligned and all represent the Wu. Now that Wu may sound familiar to many people, and for good reason. It's just tremendously, tremendously popular and really recognized worldwide, that Wu name. Now, these are no small-time rappers. Sheff G, upwards of 42 million YouTube views. That's on one song alone. Sleepy Hollow, on one song, upwards of 125 million YouTube views. Such a large following. Individuals are looking to impress them. And Sheff and company use the gang to carry out their threats.
Who is that?
You gonna play hit list for the one.
He's a baby.
He's a baby.
Just possess just tremendous control, influence, power over the entire neighborhood. You have to remember, they were idolized by so many and feared by so many more.
That nigga showing platinum teeth, niggas will slap that shit out his mouth, you heard?
Niggas don't even mention you. You the lamest one out of everybody. You have the baddest swag.
Baby.
You got the worst swag.
He's a baby. Go ask your shit. Go get your shit.
But what did they do with this power? They used it to dictate and orchestrate violence.
Yo, why you think nobody can't make a diss song on us? Why you think niggas can't diss songs on us?
The exclusive look inside the case.
A prominent drill rapper and more than 30 other alleged gang members have been charged after a major takedown in Brooklyn.
Why you think niggas can't make up a story and say, yeah, Sheff caught you lacking, ran down?
None of that.
You get quiet, right? Yeah, we know what's up, bro. Niggas know what's going on.
This morning, Sheff G, the man widely considered to be the leader of Brooklyn's drill rap music scene, is in handcuffs along with more than 30 other alleged gang members.
The Brooklyn DA says they allegedly used money from their music careers for guns and to offer bounties on the heads of rival gang members. Over the coming hours, they took alleged 8 Trey gang members into custody. Some were already behind bars, like Michael Williams, better known as drill rapper Sheff G, who previously pleaded guilty to gun possession. He was booked on new charges. Police say he controlled the streets even though he was locked down.
And let's talk about Sheff. If Sheff said something, it happened. A simple text. We got to get a big one. That simple text created a war.
The DA says charges include murder, attempted murder, weapons possession, and other crimes. In total, Gonzalez says there was 1 murder, 4 attempted murders, and 12 non-fatal shootings.
Put me in the same boat as a nigga like that when you look like this, you fat ass, you heard?
You hear me? Let the peoples know. Feel me? Just look out for my post. We got a lot of ops. We got a lot of glocks.
And I knew that you see
Watch this, watch this.
I stuck in
Oh my God!
A successful rapper from Brooklyn is accused of using his music career to bankroll gang violence. Authorities arrested rapper Sheff G, whose real name is Michael Williams. He's charged, along with rappers Sleepy Hallow and 30 other reputed gang members, in connection with a series of shootings, one of them deadly.
He's trending. He's making bones for himself. He has the respect of the entire neighborhood and is feared by others. And a lot of individuals let that dictate their actions. And they just cannot give up the gang life.
Now, if they're convicted, Williams and Chambers face up to 25 years in state prison. You know, they're charged in 12 shootings that injured 3 innocent bystanders. Right, Sandra, outside the Brooklyn DA's office here in downtown Brooklyn, where the arrests were announced this afternoon. Yes, 2 rappers, including Sheff G, now under indictment for gang violence that terrorized neighborhoods in Central and South Brooklyn.
Don't be outside like that, gang.
Prosecutors say this is Michael Williams, a 24-year-old rapper known as Sheff G. In the video, they say he's taunting a rival gang leader. What happens next happens on surveillance video. A white sedan rolls up on the gang's headquarters, and the passengers blast the streets with bullets from windows and the sunroof. One man is seen falling to the ground as everyone scatters. 30 shots are fired, 5 are wounded, and 1 man is killed. An accomplice blocks the street to allow the getaway car to escape. Williams is just one of 32 people charged with various counts of murder, attempted murder, conspiracy, and assault in an investigation that goes back nearly 3 years.
These are subjects that woke up and lived every single day with one objective, and that was to benefit the gang, gain clout for the gang. How do you do that? You shoot ops for the gang. And all this was done strictly to send a message.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
As rapper Sheff G, Williams was a pioneer in what's known as drill, a dark, particularly aggressive genre of hip-hop that critics say glorifies gang violence and retribution. His videos have been viewed hundreds of millions of times. Among those charged is Williams' protege, Tegan Chambers, known as Sleepy Hallow. Yet despite his fame and fortune, or perhaps because of it, investigators say Williams was willing to risk everything.
This is breaking news.
Earlier this afternoon, Mayor Adams made a public safety-related announcement in Brooklyn. Here's what he had to say.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. I'd like to thank Mayor Eric Adams for joining us. Also here is Chief of Detectives James Essick and Deputy Chief Jason Savino. I'd also like to acknowledge some of the detectives and some of the prosecutors who worked directly on this case for the past 2 years. We're here again to talk about gangs and guns and the violence that they cause throughout Brooklyn. I remain fully committed, working with our police department to find these perpetrators of gun violence and hold them accountable so we can prevent more gang violence from happening in our county. This is a historical indictment we're about to announce, going back and solving past shootings. Much of these gang members are involved in the violence that we all read about, we all experience, and the kind of violence that causes families to be afraid to let their children go out in the evenings. Today we announced the indictment of 32 women and men who were responsible for 24 violent incidents, with 13 people being injured, 1 critically wounded, and ultimately someone who passed away from gunshot wounds. Also, 3 innocent bystanders were shot as a result of this gun violence. During the course of this investigation, we believe 32 firearms were used or possessed by these gang members. You see a number of them here on the table. About 20 of them are here today. This is really, quite honestly, a continuation of the type of gang violence we're seeing in our county, where 2 gangs join together to become more prominent, to have more geographical dominance, and really, quite frankly, to have more access to these deadly firearms. The main gang involved in this case today are the A-Tray Crips. They're there, and there you'll see them on the board. In the top center, sort of in the black shadow, you'll see Michael Williams. Now, many of you are familiar with Michael Williams because he's a fairly successful musician. He rap music. He's in the center. To his left, you'll see another person named Tegan Chambers. Tegan is known as Sleepy Hollow. He's also a rapper of prominence. Sheff G became, Michael Williams is also known as Sheff G. He became a prominent member of this gang and became central to our investigation, quite frankly, as his music career continued to shine. He established a record label, ultimately joining with Tegan Chambers. That record label had a deal with RCA Records, which is owned by Sony Music. And quite honestly, if you ask your children if they're listening to these guys, you'll hear Sheff G and Tegan Chambers, Sleepy Hollow on their playlist. So these are fairly prominent musicians. What we allege and what we learned during the course of this investigation is that Sheff G used a lot of the money that he earned to help facilitate further gang activity. He encouraged gang members to participate in violent crimes. We'll talk more about Sheff G in a few minutes, but before I do that, let's talk about the other members that joined with the A-Trays. I see the second faceboard. Those are 9-way gang members. It's another crew that joined together. And together, this crew formed an alliance. This alliance waged war against their mutual enemies, the notorious Folk Nation Gang and the ICG Babies. Let's see a map. It's a map of central to southern Brooklyn. What you'll see is the different geographic areas where these gangs operated out of. And so what you see is that this really contained a large swath of Brooklyn, from central Brooklyn down to southern Brooklyn, really from Prospect Lefferts Gardens, all the way into Flatbush, into East Flatbush, down to Canarsie, and into Brownsville. And so you can see where they operated out of, as these gangs create this geographic dominance as they continue to expand their territories.
Y'all stay tuned for y'all stay tuned for tomorrow.
You talking crazy. Like, why the fuck you talking like that, little nigga?
18 nigga, this all year.
No, 28 tray.
28 tray.
Say
nigga.
it like that.
That's a.
They going crazy right now, you know? I got his fat ass bad, you know? Stop dissing so much, nigga. Make some natural music, man. Stop using my swords. Fuck wrong with this nigga, y'all.
Like that. Anybody pull up, get shot. You talking I'm like that, nigga. Nobody pay with me. Talking my GD. Talking my.
I don't know why niggas forgetting that. Blicky Game made his pussy ass cut his hair. Don't forget that. Next topic though. Fuck that nigga.
4:43, breaking news out of Brooklyn, where a popular rapper was shot and killed overnight. Nick Blixey was discovered with gunshot wounds on Winthrop Street. 21-year-old artist born as Nicholas Thompson was shot around 9:30 last night. The NYPD has not released any information on the search for suspect.
There are more conflicts and more rivalries happen, and so we're starting to see this happening. These gangs are joining together to become more powerful, and as a result, we're all a lot less safe. Before we talk about one of the serious incidents covered by this indictment, part of what's happening in these cases is that social media beefs and taunts continue to happen. In this particular case, we allege that Sheff G, Michael Williams, was engaged in social media taunts with another rapper who belongs to the Folk Nation gang. Those taunts became serious and acted upon, and it's a pattern of encouragement that we've seen through the social media postings and some of the texts that were obtained during the investigation. There's a shooting that took place in October of 2020, and that shooting is classified as a mass shooting.
I know it's all of y'all against me, but nigga, chill. Nigga, you dick riding, bro. Where your jewels at, bro? We ain't even gonna involve your shorty, but where your jewels at, bro? Come on, you ain't got no money, nigga. Stop acting like you got money. You ain't got no money. What you sign for? You used to be signing New Law, nigga. You used to be signing New Law Entertainment, bro. A nigga with money ain't gonna go out like that. You ain't got no jewelry, bro. You talk all this money shit, bro. Niggas with money is always the niggas who never talk about it, bro. You talking all this money shit. Where your jewels?
Like, yo, Bo, he didn't expect the obsticality of deception. Powerful agents to the uninitiated. It's rising. But we are initiated. The fire is rising. The fire is rising. Got 5 piece chain on his neck, nigga. I will slap the shit out of you, nigga. Are you dumb? Listen, you signed to Kodak. I signed myself, kid. Bro, niggas got bare breach, nigga. Are you dumb? You bum? You don't have no fucking judge on clip. You're a bum. Shorty breach right now. Back on 100K tomorrow.
The lead up to that mass shooting started about a week earlier, where Sheff G was engaged in taunts with this Folk Nation rapper. And during that incident, it was decided that the Folk Nation headquarters, where they hung out on Hawthorne Street, would be targeted. As a result of that targeting, 6 people were shot, one of them fatally shot. In the video you're about to see, you're going to see a stolen white Infiniti drive up the block, back into a parking driveway, and then you will see a person pop out of the sunroof, the open sunroof, start shooting. There'll be also people shooting from the driver's side windows. In total, we estimate over 30 shots were fired. You'll see there are a number of people across the street that they're shooting at, including men and women. And then you'll see something that will show you how dangerous and coordinated these attacks are. You'll see a second vehicle that's also stolen. It was an SUV that was used as a blocker vehicle to block the police or block anyone from following the shooting car. And you'll see that the blocker vehicle, as the shooting begins, blocks the intersection and allows the shooting car to escape, driving the wrong way up a one-way street onto traffic where it's been sort of cordoned off for them to escape. One of the people identified and charged with the murder in this case is that man, Comandre Dekatu. He is a member of the A-Tray gang, and if you see prominently on his neck, he has the symbol of his gang, an 8 and a 3. There's the blocker car, the SUV. It's now going to cut off the intersection. The shooting vehicle is going to be all the way to the far left of the video. You won't be able to see that clearly, but you'll see the people running. And if you see closely, you'll see the vehicle turning in the opposite direction and fleeing. If you're watching, you'll be able to see a man who gets shot right there fall to the ground. Fortunately, that person survived the shooting. Pure mayhem, women and men. There was a female victim of that shooting as well. Again, pure mayhem. A 23-year-old man named Theodore Sr. was fatally killed during the shooting. I've already said 5 other people were wounded, some with serious injuries to their bodies. Defendant Dekatu is charged with murder, as well as his co-conspirators, including in the conspiracy is Sheff G and his sister, Crystal Williams. They're charged with conspiracy to commit murder for these shootings, as well as for their roles in encouraging other shootings. Specifically, before this homicide took place, their messaging that we allege Crystal Williams sent to her brother, Sheff G, who told her brother that one of the main Folk Nation members had to get hit or killed, and only after 1 hour after this shooting, Michael Williams, aka Sheff G, is communicating with a trusted gang member, and he's asking if the A-Trays had scored, and he's asking for proof of that score to be sent to him by screenshots. Just a few days later, Sheff G takes the shooters from this incident and some other gang members for a very lavish, expensive steak dinner where they celebrate the score against their rivals. There's video of that, and we're not showing that today, but that dinner was paid for in cash by Sheff G, celebrating the score that they had shot 6 people 2 days earlier. Now, I'll tell you a little bit more about Michael Williams, aka Sheff G. He's a Brooklyn kid. He grew up in Flatbush. We believe he became gang involved at a very young age. He got some notoriety as a drill rapper early in his life. But by 2017, he really started to have, commercial success. He was really playing music that had been reached the masses. And as I've already said, he formed a record label with his friend. RCA Records bought that label, and obviously RCA Records is owned by Sony Music. He teamed up with Tegan Chambers, who's known as Sleepy Hollow, and their music is all over, Spotify and that. But I think the import here is that Sheff G is not a wannabe drill rapper. He is a legitimate person who made it good. He has gold records. He's made a lot of money. He rented a very large house. Some dare call it a mansion in Short Hills, New Jersey, where he was staying. He has millions of monthly listeners and over 100 million views on social media, including on YouTube and Spotify. But instead of using his fame and his fortune for the betterment of himself and his family and those close to him, we allege that he used that fame and fortune to elevate gang violence in Brooklyn. We learned that Sheff G encouraged shootings, often by offering money or jewelry, by hosting extravagant affairs like the dinner we mentioned, and using rap songs to help hype up fellow gang members. We also have direct information that Sheff G had access to a large number of firearms and weapons, which we believe may have been used to further supply the gang with these deadly firearms. Most importantly, we also allege that he had direct and active involvement in some of these shootings. Let's see a photo that was captured from one of his phones. There you can see some of the photos that are in his cell phone. This is one of the cell phones that he had when he was arrested. Obviously you see the AK-style rifles on top. There's some handguns. Down below you see a number of brand new firearms in the case with the tags still on them, and also with other accessories like ammunition on the bottom. There are two photos in the middle of Michael Williams, Sheff G, holding and displaying guns. And then to your far right, with the black hoodie on and the Sheff gold chain, that's a video. Let's quickly, and there was a lot of these videos, we're just going to play one of them. Let's just show that video. This was a direct taunt at one of his rivals. In the car with him in the back is Sleepy Hollow, the other rapper, and the guy Dekatu, who was charged with murder, the one who popped out of the Infinity sunroof. Now, the issue for us is why would someone of his stature continue to engage in this kind of violence? We're going to play a very short video of Sheff G buying a very expensive Jeep Cherokee. It's only relevant because that vehicle is later used in a shooting that we believe the evidence shows that he was directly responsible for. So let's play this video. This is posted on YouTube. That's Michael Williams, Sheff G. It's a very upscale Jeep Grand Cherokee. I think it's called a Trackhawk. So remember this video of this vehicle, because you're going to see it involved in the shooting that took place on April 6, 2021. What's important to know about this shooting is that a day before, or 2 days before, Sheff G's home in Short Hills was attacked and it was shot up, and he believed, and the gang believed, that rivals were responsible for shooting his home up in New Jersey. Recovered text messages between Sheff G and a guy named Olivel Martinez, who's a fellow gang member, but also the boyfriend of his sister, Crystal Williams, surmised that one of their fellow gang members had to betray them to give up Sheff G's secret house in Short Hills. And so there's a lot of conversation around getting revenge on the gang member who had betrayed them. And the gang, the A-Trays and 9-Ways, spent months trying to track this individual down for retribution for giving up his home. What you're going to see in this video is Michael Williams, we allege is the driver of the vehicle, Tony Darden, and Oliver Martinez, and the other folk, Kendrick Austrie. Those two men are first cousins to Michael Williams, Sheff G, and then, like I said, Oliver Martinez dates his sister. They're trying to get revenge on the person that they believe is responsible for giving up Sheff G's house in New Jersey. And when that house was shot up, there were family members in the home. And so what you're going to see is there's 3 guys there. They start to shoot up the block towards the top of the TV monitor. That white SUV you see on the right-hand corner is actually on the same side of the street that they're on. It's just there so you can see it. So it's further up the block towards the Checkers. And you'll see one victim get shot there, a 43-year-old woman, innocent bystander. Then up the block by the Checkers, there's a 53-year-old male who gets shot, completely innocent bystander. You'll then see the 3 men, after they engage in the shooting, run back to this Tomahawk Jeep that you just saw in the other video, and that car drive away. I can tell you right now that the license plates and the info GPS on the car puts it at the scene before, during, and after the shooting, and there's a lot of other evidence, including when the car is ultimately abandoned, evidence that we have that Sheff G gets an Uber back to Short Hills after this, directly connecting him as the getaway driver. Plus there's other evidence, but let's play the video. Those are the 3 men. That's a woman who winds up getting shot, victim 1. And there's a guy right there, victim 2 by the Checkers, who gets shot in his shoulder. The 3 men run. Again, all related to Sheff G. They get into that vehicle right here, which is the Jeep that we've been talking about. That Jeep takes off. The Jeep is followed. The police department does a great job in getting the video, following, getting license plates, doing everything they need to do. Gets on the highway. What I should say is that when they're shooting up the block, right there, if you know the neighborhood, the parade grounds is there, and there's a bunch of children playing soccer and scores of kids in the park who had to scatter from the shooting. Anyway, the Jeep takes off, and ultimately it's tracked into Manhattan, where it's ditched and ultimately covered by the police department. I'll talk about this, what they believe this turncoat who gave up Sheff G's address. Ultimately, 10 members of the gang captured him one day, kidnapped him, drove him off to a cemetery in Brooklyn, and started to beat him to death. He was saved because some random person called 911 and the police responded. And video of the beating was captured. We're not going to show it because it's so graphic, but to say that he came within inches of his life is not an understatement. Those individuals were charged with kidnapping and assault. But the revenge went beyond this turncoat. They wanted to get revenge at the group they believe shot at Sheff G's house. That was this group called the Babies. You'll see a text message between Sheff G and his Oliver Martinez, which is the guy, again, who dates his sister, where they discuss targeting a rival ICG Babies gang member. Just the import of this is the exchange ends with Sheff saying, SNM, say no more. This gets done. I got $5K for you. Later the same day, the shooting takes place. Now, it's going to be hard to see the shooting, but I'll orient you. It's a white SUV. It's stolen. It's a man crossing the street. He's a rival gang member from the group that is involved. They believe is involved in the shooting of Sheff G's house. That vehicle is stalking him, and as he starts to cross the street, that vehicle will make a left-hand turn. As they make the left-hand turn, you will not be able to see the shooting because the shooters are in the car, but he's shot 7 times. Right there, he's being hit by the gunshots. You can see him, he tries to run away, and ultimately, as he gets to that corner, he collapses. He was shot 7 times in the chest. He had multiple surgeries. And was in the hospital for a really long time, for weeks upon weeks. He did survive the shooting. unfortunately for him, and really fortunately for all of us. Sheff G is currently in jail on a unrelated gun charge. He was arrested by the police department, and inside one of his vehicles that he was driving at that time, inside a trap in the car, he had a .45 caliber handgun. He's pled guilty to that case, and he will now be arraigned on this new indictment. But his involvement with the gang didn't end while he was incarcerated. Tegan Chambers, among others, Tegan Chambers of Sleepy Hollow, continued to communicate with him and give him, information about the activity of the gang. In fact, the investigation showed that after Sheff G was arrested with the gun, he was very worried about what would be recovered from his cell phone, and he asked Tegan Chambers to wipe his phone to get rid of all of the data, including location data and financial data off his phone, which Tegan Chambers had agreed to do. And we should say, I didn't mention this, but there was a member in the gang who seemed to be one of the prominent traffickers of guns. He would go down, I believe it was South Carolina, if that's correct. He would go down to South Carolina and repeatedly bring guns back. A number of the guns he purchased legally in South Carolina, legally in the sense that he had some kind of ID in South Carolina, were recovered in short order.
Understanding that if we focus on the small number of extremely violent people who have made up their mind that they will continue to do violence no matter what happens. Doesn't matter if they reach fame and fortune, they're going to use that fame and fortune to enhance their ability to have access to dangerous guns.
That individual that they thought was a snitch offended Sheff, that he had so much control, and made it known. The response, Sheff's gang ventured to where he routinely frequented and shot at him, striking those two unattendeds. Now you're talking about a 40-somewhat-year-old and a 50-somewhat-year-old, minding their own business, just caught in the crossfire. These are the individuals we focus our cases around.
21 guns. There's not 421 guns salute. There are 21 guns to shoot our neighborhoods and our families, and a total disregard for everyday New Yorkers while walking our streets.
The quote, it bears repeating, one of the main gotta get hit. That text alone fueled these shootings. The gang ventured to the ops' home base and fired bullets without remorse towards that large crowd that you saw. 3 guns discharged, showed zero regard for life.
So I'll make this clear. It doesn't matter which social media company you use or what apps you use. If you're engaging in street violence, if you're taking guns and you're shooting rivals, if you're hurting innocent bystanders, the NYPD will eventually track your case and bring you to the court of law. These individuals are being arraigned as we speak, and they will be held accountable, and they should expect long prison sentence. We surely will ask our judges to hold them accountable for what they did. Sheff G is looking at a minimum of 5 to 25 years for his involvement, as are many of the 32 members that were arrested today, and obviously anyone who was involved in the homicide is looking at a life sentence. So I want to be clear. Wiping your phone is not going to dissuade a prosecution. These cases take time, but we will ultimately solve these cases. But often it's about their own safety. By forming these alliances, they're allowed to travel into neighborhoods that they probably could not travel safely if they were ops within the organization. Now, that's the benefit to them. The downside is that they also then take on their alliance's enemies. So it expands the number of people who are now shooting on sight.
Case in point, when you look at those boards that were up earlier, 32 subjects, 24 of those 32 are being charged with attempted murder or worse on at least one occasion. And very much worth noting, 8 of the 32 have allegedly fired a gun on more than 3 occasions. Now think about that. 8 individuals have allegedly fired a pistol, endangering our public, on at least 3 occasions. Simply put, these are the shooters. That small group of individuals, the alphas of each gang, those very few that endanger themselves and everybody around them.
Gang life is all encompassing, and he was involved in gang life since he being a young man, and the influence that he had over the gang is something that I believe gave him and his family pride. You know, it's hard to understand, but as the gang got more influence, it was a source of pride.
What I can tell you is throughout our investigations, we see this repeatedly, you know, where individuals are kind of up and coming, doing well, but they refuse to leave that gang life.
Have millions of views. Young people are listening and watching the views, and there's a duplication of the behavior that is spreading like a cancer throughout our communities. It is not specifically drill music itself. It is those individuals who are using any platform to promote retaliatory violence. And that is what we are seeing over and over again. We are constantly having to catch up. When you match the ready accessibilities of guns and those who are willing to use them anytime and anywhere in a very coordinated effort, you saw the sophistication of blocking off streets, targeting people, plotting out for months, the vicious beating in a cemetery. They're dangerous people. They're dangerous people. And it's a small number of them. They're repeated recidivists that as soon as you let them out, they're back on our streets. We can have it. We are not going to give up. We're not going to surrender our streets to violence. And that is proven today about the real alliance that matters. And that is this District Attorney's Office and the New York City Police Department.
We see with drill rap and with other music that there are actual threats to name people made. But I wanted to be very clear for those who have those concerns that none of the lyrics used in this case, and if you go on and you listen to either Sheff G or Sleepy Hollow, they're clear references to gang retaliation and actually mention of some of their rivals in the songs. None of that was used as evidence. None of that was presented to the grand jury in terms of our case. So this is just based on the investigation, the fine investigation conducted by the police department using surveillance and social media and text messaging and appropriate use of recovered cell phones. And of course the guns, right? Because the guns also tell a story. We believe that much of the violence perpetrated by this gang was made possible because Michael Williams had a lot of cash. And he promised members that if they put in the gang work, they would be rewarded, either financially or appear in some of his videos, or even get a record contract for themselves like Sleepy Hollow did. I want to be clear, because we spent a lot of time talking about Sheff G. This is not an indictment about rap music. In fact, this investigation did not rely on a single lyric to prove any of the alleged crimes, but it is an indictment of how when someone does well for themselves and could do real good in our community, they use their fame and they use their money to further gang violence.
Police say he controlled the streets even though he was locked down.
And let's talk about Sheff. If Sheff said something, it happened. A simple text created a war.
Hey, 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 it's hey, hey, hey. I'm not coming for it, bro. Listen, get up out of here, dude. Oh shit, Top Squad. Chill out, Top Squad. Chill out. We got a lot of ops. We got a lot of glocks. People thought I look like Mulatto dancing on top of the car. When my album dropped, I'm doing a special giveaway when my album drop, you hear me? Let the peoples know, you feel me?
And stop calling my fucking name, dude.
Tell 22 G's that, nigga. Tell Jeffrey the little rat. Tell him that, nigga. I bag out 100K tomorrow self, nigga.
Stop calling my gov, bro. I got family. I got peoples out here who's on my page, nigga. You gotta chill out. I know it's all of y'all against me, but nigga, chill, nigga. You.
What's up, man?
It's goody. It's moving. You feel me? It depends though, like how you living. You feel me? Some people grow up in a different environment, a good environment.
You're from Brooklyn, right?
Yep.
What part?
Flatbush.
And you know, you had the braids.
Yeah.
You know, for like a lot of your early videos.
Yeah.
Okay. But at one point you actually cut them.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Cut my head. Feel me? I got cut in my head. So they had to move my hair to find the cut. So I was just like, fuck it, shave the whole shit off.
With a knife?
Yeah. I got cut from the back. I didn't get cut from the front. It couldn't happen from the front.
Oh, so someone went up behind you and actually cut you in the head?
I got cut from the back of my head.
Okay. I mean, what happened? What happened?
Yeah. It was gaming.
Okay.
Remember, I got cut, the options all in a split.
What happened to the other dude?
Oh, man. I don't know how this.
You have no idea.
Remember, I got cut, the options all in a split.
Physical with these niggas, so fuck that.
Nah, fuck all that shit. I gotta let them know before though.
You gotta get physical with these niggas, man. Niggas will bust your piñata. Open
bust
your
that fucking mata, pussy.
Stupid.
You talking crazy to niggas. You putting everybody in danger. You heard? Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Niggas clout demons. Niggas will risk their life for clout. Come on, bro.
Anything she find, nigga. Pot, spoon, whatever. Gangsta.
You would get hit with a pot.
With a pot, nigga. Real life. Pot.
Like where? Like on your ass or like in parts of your body?
Wherever you get caught, nigga, you get. You stand, you gonna get hit.
Stop trying to humble yourself. You think money make you real, bro?
We from Brooklyn, nigga. Fuck that shit, you heard? Y'all niggas stop dropping breaks and doing shit for clout, bro. Y'all niggas stop dropping breaks and doing shit for clout, bro. Niggas stop dropping breaks and doing shit for clout, bro.
Humble yourself. You think money make you real, bro?
There ever a day where y'all as men, as young men, will be able to have a conversation to iron out the street? Or is that just some street that y'all gotta stay where it's at?
Yeah, sometimes it be deeper than just the rappers and rap, you feel me? But yeah, that would be, like I was saying in my other interview, that would be 40 years old chasing each other down the street, you feel me?
Yeah.
It don't make sense, so we might as well start figuring it out.
Now, if they're convicted, Williams and Chambers face up to 25 years in state prison. You know, they're charged in 12 shootings that injured 3 innocent bystanders.